Most people will never be rich, not because they aren't capable, but because they never question what normal even is. They wake up tired, they scroll their phones, they complain about Mondays like it's a badge of honor. They work jobs they hate, spend money they don't have, impressing people they don't even like, and call that life. So they follow the crowd like it's a GPS to success, not realizing that the crowd is almost always headed toward average. Ali, but you were not built for average. You feel it, don't you? That quiet voice in your gut that whispers, this isn't it. There's more. That fire that flares up every time you settle for less, that's not random. That's your potential waking up, shaking you by the shoulders, and begging you to listen. Arisis, and so what's Horatius? If you want to be rich, truly rich, not just in money, but in freedom, fulfillment, and fire, then the first step is simple. Stop doing what normal people do. Because normal people quit when it gets hard. Normal people wait for permission. Normal people fear judgment more than regret. Normal people will spend their whole lives asking broke friends for money advice and wonder why they're stuck. They'll take life tips from people who gave up on their dreams and wonder why they feel empty. Ellie, you have to wake up. You have to become obsessed, not with the money, but with becoming the kind of person who attracts it. Oh, that means changing everything, your habits, your beliefs, your self-image, and most of all, your standard. Let me tell you something about Thomas Edison. That man failed over 10,000 times trying to invent the light bulb. 10,000. Do you understand what that means? A would or tens will win. Do you understand what that means? Normal people would have stopped after 10. Maybe 100. They would have said it's impossible. They would have blamed the tools, blamed the market, blamed their luck. But Edison said, I have not failed. I just found 10,000 ways that won't work. You see, success doesn't happen when everything is perfect. It happens when you decide that nothing, not failure, not fear, not fatigue, will stop you. That's not normal. That's rare, and that's exactly why you must stop being normal. You must start seeing your mind as a weapon, tool. A tool, a furnace that must be fueled every day with powerful thoughts, disciplined action, and relentless belief. Look around. The normal mind is filled with fear, scarcity, blame, excuses. They say things like, oh, money's the root of all evil. I'm just not lucky like them. I don't have the time. I'm too old. It's too late. Do you realize how dangerous those words are? That's not reality. That's mental poison. That's the quiet, slow death of dreams. And the people who say them, they're not trying to hurt you. They're just living on autopilot. Oh, if you want a rich life, you have to break the autopilot, burn the script, rewrite your mind. Henry Ford once said, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. That's not a cute quote. That's the truth that separates millionaires from mediocrity. Haley Ford went bankrupt 5 times before he built the empire that changed transportation forever. People laughed at him. Banks refused him. But he kept seeing it, kept building it, first in his mind, then in his hands. Because he wasn't following the crowd. He was following a vision. You want to be rich? Then start thinking like that. Start seeing what isn't there yet. Start acting like you already believe it's possible, because belief is the blueprint. Belief is the seed. But belief alone is not enough. You need hunger, ruthless discipline. and clarity so sharp it cuts through every distraction. You see, normal people don't protect their time. They don't guard their energy. They let everything in, every notification, every toxic voice, every little drama, and then wonder why they feel drained. Only, if your time is your gold, why are you giving it away so easily? You think Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, Oprah, or Carnegie sat around watching other people's lives on social media? No. They were too busy building theirs. They had a war going on inside against laziness, against comfort, against the small voice that says maybe tomorrow. And every day they chose to fight. That's what being rich actually takes. It's not about luck or talent. It's about winning that inner war long before the world ever sees your victory. Because the truth is, success shows up in your spirit long before it shows up in your bank account. Jen, that's why the poor-minded stay broke even when they make money, because they haven't changed the script in their head. They still think small. They still spend like victims. They still wait for someone to come save them. Nobody is coming to save you. Not your boss, not the economy, not your family, not your followers. Although the only person that can turn your life into a masterpiece is you. And that starts the moment you stop chasing approval and start chasing purpose. Purpose is not a job title. It's not a paycheck. It's not something someone hands you. Purpose is a decision. It's waking up and choosing to make your life mean something, to build something that outlives you, to become the kind of person who, when they walk into a room, changes the temperature, not with ego, but with energy. But normal people don't live with purpose. They live with pressure. They live reacting to everything instead of choosing anything. They live like victims in a story they could rewrite, if only they realized they were holding the pen. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination. Imagine that. The man who built entire worlds was told he had no vision. He didn't let that stop him. He didn't let rejection define him. He turned the pain into fuel. He saw what others couldn't see, and he bet on it again and again. Even when the world laughed, he mortgaged everything, lived broke, slept in his office. But he kept creating, kept building, kept believing, and now his imagination feeds millions. His legacy lives in theme parks, in characters, in the hearts of dreamers around the world. That's what happens when you stop doing what normal people do and start doing what you were born to do. And here's the truth they won't tell you. It's supposed to be hard. You're not failing because it's hard. You're not failing because it's hard. You're growing. Growth doesn't feel good. Growth feels like stretching muscles you didn't know you had. Like walking into storms you'd normally run from. But every storm you face makes you stronger. Every challenge you conquer adds another brick to your foundation. You think Abraham Lincoln felt confident all the time? He lost 8 elections, failed in business twice, had a nervous breakdown, and still, he stood up again and again until the nation saw him not as a failure, but as the leader who would hold it together during its darkest hour. That wasn't luck. That was resilience. Rich people don't avoid failure. They expect it. They use it. They know every setback is a setup. If you don't quit, that's why normal people stay broke. They treat failure like a finish line when it's actually just a checkpoint. Listen to me. You are going to be tested. Life will throw you distractions, setbacks, betrayal, fear, doubt, exhaustion, confusion. It will try to convince you to go back to average, to play safe, To shrink? But in those moments, you must decide, will you follow the herd or will you rise? Because once you rise, once you choose discipline over dopamine, vision over validation, work over wishing, everything changes. You no longer beg the world for scraps of success. You start earning it in silence, in sweat, in sacrifice, Allie. And people will notice. They always do. At first, they'll mock you. They'll say you've changed. Good. You're supposed to. They'll say, why are you working so hard? Why not just enjoy life? Because you understand something they don't. You can't enjoy life fully when you're living in regret. You can't feel peace when you've buried your potential. You can't feel rich when your mind is broke. So you choose the path that normal people fear, the path of ownership. You stop blaming. Stop whining. Stop waiting. You take ownership of every result in your life, not because it's easy, but because it's freeing. When you take ownership, you take your power back, and once you have power, you can build. You can create, you can rewrite your reality. Andrew Carnegie was a poor boy working in a cotton factory, making $1 20 cents a week. His family lived in a one-room home. No advantages, no safety net. But what he had, what made him rich, was a relentless hunger to learn, to grow, to rise. He read everything he could, worked harder than anyone, treated every challenge like a ladder. Not a wall, a wall. And one day he built an empire so massive it changed the American economy. Not because he was lucky, because he was intentional. You see, normal people drift, rich people decide. They decide what they want. Then they decide what they're willing to give up for it. That's the part no one wants to talk about. The sacrifice. You don't get rich without it. You have to sacrifice the need to be liked, the comfort of laziness, the high of instant pleasure. You have to be willing to outgrow people, to be misunderstood, to be alone sometimes, because success is a lonely road. Not because it has to be, but because so few are willing to walk it. But if you keep walking, if you keep showing up when it's hard, if you keep building your mind while others waste theirs, the world will open for you. Healy doors will appear where there were only walls. People will show up who once ignored you. Opportunities will find you because you become the kind of person success chases, not someone chasing success. Nay. You'll stop needing motivation because you'll live with momentum. You'll stop chasing the weekend because you'll build a life you don't want to escape from. You'll stop playing defense and start living on offense. Because you finally realized that you were never meant to be normal. You were never meant to be normal. You were meant to build, to create, to stand for something so deeply that your life echoes beyond the years you live. But here's the reality, said Leland. Normal people won't understand you. They'll tell you to slow down, to be realistic, to not want too much. They'll mock your ambition because it mirrors their own apathy. They'll tell you to be humble, not because you're arrogant, but because your courage reminds them of their fear. But you must stay the course, because somewhere in this world, someone is waiting for what only you can build. A little boy is waiting for a book that will change how he sees himself. A young woman is waiting for the company you haven't started yet. A family is waiting for the invention still locked inside your mind. and none of it gets built if you stay normal. Do you think Thomas Edison was normal? Ellie, that man failed 10,000 times to invent the light bulb. People laughed at him, doubted him, even feared him. But he wasn't concerned with their opinions. He was obsessed with the result. He said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways it won't work. That's not just mindset. That's mission, and that's what rich people live by. A mission, not just to make money, but to create meaning. Not just to escape poverty, but to elevate humanity. Not just to be remembered, but to be felt. And the great secret is this: Dekalel, you already have everything inside you to build it. LA, not because you're perfect, but because you're willing to face discomfort, willing to be disciplined when others are distracted, willing to believe when there's no proof yet, willing to be the first in your family to break the pattern, to stop the cycle of survival, and begin the journey of success. And that journey begins every single morning, before the world wakes up, when your alarm rings and you don't hit snooze. That's power. When you pick up a book instead of your phone, that's progress. When you choose water over sugar, action over excuses, purpose over comfort, that's wealth being built, one small decision at a time. Sully, most people wait for motivation, but rich people, they act their way into motivation. They don't feel their way into success. They move into it because motion creates clarity. Every workout builds strength. Every early morning builds momentum. Every tough decision builds your character. And character is what builds fortune. Not luck, not looks, not likes. You build your fortune in silence, in the gym when no one sees you, in the hours you work after everyone else is done, in the moments when you're tired, but your future self is watching, and you don't quit. And here's something they never teach in school. Killing discipline is freedom. Most people think freedom is doing what you want, but that's chaos. That's addiction. That's distraction. Real freedom is earned. It's waking up one day and knowing you're not controlled by your cravings, your fears, or your past. It's looking in the mirror and seeing someone you respect, someone who built themselves. Now, because success isn't something you find, it's something you become, and becoming that person requires pain. Now, not the pain of failure, the pain of growth, the pain of letting go of who you were, of leaving behind the opinions of people who never built anything, of standing alone, sometimes for years, before anyone claps, before anyone buys, before anyone believes. But the ones who believe in themselves first, they are the ones the world follows next. Elon Musk was laughed at. Oprah was told she didn't have the look for TV. Jeff Bezos was mocked for selling books online. They were all called crazy until they were called right, Ali, because the world always catches up to those who don't wait for it. And now it's your turn, ZLE, to stop imitating average and start building uncommon, to stop talking and start doing, to stop scrolling and start climbing, to stop hiding and start becoming. You don't need more time. You need more truth. I mean, the truth that no one's coming to save you. The truth that it's not your circumstances holding you back. It's your comfort zone. The truth that everything you want lives on the other side of the work you're avoiding, Daddy. And when you finally embrace that truth fully, without fear, you become unstoppable. You become magnetic. People will start asking, what changed? But you'll know it wasn't one big moment. It was all the little moments where you chose growth over gossip, purpose over partying. Legacy over likes, Ellie. You stopped doing what normal people do, and you became what few ever become. A person with vision and vision. Vision builds empires. Vision makes history. Vision turns ordinary people into legends. You don't need the perfect plan. You need a reason so strong it scares your excuses. You need a dream so big it demands your evolution. And you need a mindset so unshakable nothing can stop you. Ellie, because when the mind is rich, the world can't keep you poor. And when you walk with that kind of mindset, only people feel it before you say a word. Only you walk into a room and you don't have to prove anything. Your presence speaks. Your energy speaks because you've done the work. You've battled the voices. You've faced the fears that most people run from their entire lives. Melanie, you no longer seek permission. You carry conviction. You're not chasing attention. You're building intention. You're not hoping for success. You're expecting it because you've earned that expectation. Every early morning, every quiet sacrifice, every time you chose power over comfort, that's when you realize wealth isn't just in your bank account, it's in your mindset. That it's in your ability to stay calm when chaos hits, to trust yourself when the path disappears, to move forward when the world stands still. That's rare. That's leadership. That's what separates the builders from the beggars. Because there are two kinds of people in this world. Still are those who wait for things to change. And those who become the change. Which one are you, Ale? Are you going to keep checking your phone every 5 minutes, hoping for a miracle? Or are you going to wake up with fire in your chest and build the miracle yourself? Are you going to keep asking, what if I fail? Or are you finally going to ask, thrilled, what if I fly? Ale, because deep down you already know you're not here to just survive. You're here to expand. You're here to turn your pain into power, your doubts into decisions, your ideas into impact, okay? And that only happens when you stop living by the rules of normal people. Healthy, normal people spend more on clothes than on books. Normal people chase dopamine and ignore discipline. Normal people know everything about celebrities, but nothing about their own potential. Normal people want success, but they don't want the scars. But you were made for more. You were made to carry pressure like armor, to walk through storms like it's just part of the training. Oh no, you were made to get up every time life knocks you down and smile. Smile not because it's easy, but because you know diamonds are made under pressure, legends are built through resistance, and wealth, true wealth, is attracted to those who refuse to quit. So don't quit now. Don't quit when it's hard. That's the test. Don't quit when it's quiet. That's the forge. Don't quit when you feel alone. That's the moment the world is asking, Slilled, how bad do you want it, L.A.? Because here's the truth, des es railed. The top isn't crowded, but the climb, that's where most give up, L.A. You will be tempted to stop, to take shortcuts, to go back to easy. But remember this, Settled, every shortcut steals a lesson, and every lesson skipped becomes a wall between you and your dream. Hey, so take the long road, the hard road, the road that requires character, courage, and clarity. Ellie, because that's the road that rich people walk, not rich in just money, but in freedom, in purpose, in peace, in the ability to wake up every day and live life on your terms. That kind of life, it's not luck, it's not magic, it's a decision to not be normal. S-O-N-E, to stop doing what average people do, to stop following the crowd, to stop living like you have 1,000 years left. You don't, your time is now. This moment, this very breath is your chance to flip the switch to break the pattern, to destroy the old identity and build the new one. Brick by brick, well, it starts by saying, Sir Lord, I'm done playing small. I'm done waiting. I'm done living by fear, excuses, and doubt. Daily, say it out loud. Feel it in your chest. I am not here to be normal. I am here to be great. You see, rich people don't become rich by avoiding risk. They become rich by trusting themselves in the middle of uncertainty. They don't avoid pressure. They prepare for it. They don't avoid failure. They leverage it. Because failure is not the opposite of success. It is the process of success. And now the FD, it's the sharpening of your sword, the building of your mind, the training of your soul. And one day, when people ask how you did it, you'll smile and say, ever virtuousned, I stopped doing what normal people do, and I finally became who I was born to be. So listen closely, because this is your moment, not tomorrow, not next year, now. So this is the moment where your old story ends and your real life begins. Well, the moment you stop begging the world to give you something loud and start demanding more from yourself. So the moment you rise from average and step into your destiny, no more fitting in, no more shrinking down, no more asking for permission to be powerful. From this moment on, you walk like you're chosen. You speak like you believe. You move like you already know. Success is yours. LA, not because someone handed it to you, but because you became the kind of person who deserved it. This isn't about fantasy. This isn't about wishing. This is about vision, about discipline, about building a life so strong, so meaningful, that it echoes long after you're gone. It's LE, because in the end, you don't take your money with you. You don't take your titles, your cars, your followers. What you leave behind is your impact, the lives you touched, the standards you raised, the legacy you carved into time. And none of that comes from being normal. None of that comes from doing what everyone else does. And, it comes from deciding right now that your life will be a message, not a mistake. Ella, it comes from facing the mirror and saying, Ella, I'm not playing safe anymore. I'm not dimming my light. I am here to lead, to rise, to break every limit the world tried to put on me. You don't need the world's approval. You don't need perfect timing. You don't need anyone to believe in you. You need to believe in yourself, like your life depends on it, because it does. So, let the world laugh. Let them doubt you. Let them say it's impossible while they talk. You build while they scroll. You grind while they wait for the right time. You become unstoppable. Now, and one day they'll look at you and they won't understand how you did it. They'll say you got lucky, that it was easy for you, but you'll know the truth. You'll know every sacrifice, every lonely night, every tear, every failure, every moment you chose power over pity. Discipline over distraction. You'll know that you earned it, not by doing what normal people do, but by doing what greatness requires. So here's your final truth. If you want to be rich in mind, in soul, in life, in legacy, stop doing what normal people do. Dear Riken, stop living down to their expectations. Stop chasing comfort. Stop giving your power away. Start thinking like the person you were born to be. Start moving like someone who carries purpose. But Oh, start acting like your future is watching, because it is. And when that future arrives, it will thank you. Oh, it will stand at your door, knock gently, alone, and say, "Holy, you made it. You didn't follow them. You followed truth, and now the world is yours." Let that voice live in your chest. Let it rise when the doubt creeps in. Let it speak louder than fear, louder than excuses, louder than the noise. Because you're not here to be normal. You're here to be legendary. Now go prove it.